All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for your time and joining us this evening to learn more about Code the Dream. My name is Ashley, and I'm the recruitment lead. And we also have Catherine on here as well, too. She's also a lead of outreach and partnerships in North Carolina. And then we have some Npower graduates who are also in Code the Dream currently, who will be on the panel just give you guys more information about their experience. So thank you all so much for joining and listening in. All right, so today I'm going to give you more information about Code the Dream. Code the Dream, we are a free coding program meant for those who have barriers of entry into tech. And let me make sure my screen is sharing. If you all give me a thumbs up if you see it. Can you all see my screen?
Currently, right now, no.
Okay, let me try again. Okay, I think it should be able to share now. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, today we'll go over Code the Dream's mission. We'll also go over our course offerings, and then we will have a Q&A and as well as a panel too. So Code the Dream was founded as an organization to help those who maybe not have the finances to go to college to get an education for coding, or maybe you have a lot of things to do like a full-time schedule or a caretaker or more. We built this for the flexible adult learner who still wants to get that quality education in coding in preparation for a career. All right, so on top of our free coding classes for web development and data engineering, we also build technology that benefits our communities. So for example, we've built apps to help young learners become more literate with reading and writing. We've built apps to help people to know what government assistance they qualify for. We've built apps for farm workers and much more. And if you are able to join our program and get all the way through and become a part of our apprenticeship, you can also help us to build those apps for our clients that we have. So this is a little bit more information about how our classes work. So we offer, again, free intensive classes in web development and data engineering. Also, our classes are fully remote and they are asynchronous. So I believe that may be a difference with Npower. I know you all usually do join synchronously on to learn, but with Code the Dream, since I said we are for the flexible adult learner, we will give you pre-recorded videos at the beginning of each work week, and we have 11 weeks per class. And you can watch those videos all throughout the week whenever you have that free time and availability. And then also throughout the week, we have live mentor sessions that are also remote that you can tune in to for any time that you're available. And they are available all throughout the week at all different times. We also have one-on-one and group mentoring. So that's something you can take advantage of. We do require at least one session to attend per week. And these mentors are actually tech professionals in their day jobs who work as volunteers for Code the Dream. We have volunteers from Meta, Amazon, the Phillies, and more. All right. So they're pretty advanced in their fields. Also, again, so I had mentioned the development workshop and how we do have a paid apprenticeship. Now, this is a competitive position, so it is like a job that you would get, but this is paid, it is salaried, and is also remote, has benefits too. And it's like a real job that you have the opportunity to apply for after joining our program. Now, currently we have that available for our web development track. We have two different career tracks you can apply for, that being web development and data engineering. I'll talk more about that as we get further into the presentation. All right, so this is a pathway you can see yourself completing our program from start to finish. Starting from the beginning, you can apply at codethedream.org/apply. A few eligibility things: you do have to be 18 years or older to start our classes. You also have to reside within the United States and have access to a computer and Wi-Fi. After you complete your application, you will then submit pre-work. So pre-work is a requirement for our organization. We have tons of people who apply to Code the Dream, And we want to make sure those who are serious about, getting a job after Code the Dream are able to do so through the pre-work assignment. But we also want to make sure that you guys are at the skill level that you need to be. Now, since you all are in or have been coming from Npower, we know that y'all have the skill set, so don't even worry about that. All right. So after you submit the pre-work assignment and you get that passing score, then you'll be able to join our classes. This is a view of all the classes that we do offer, beginning with Intro to Programming. Okay. Intro to Programming. Also, we have advanced classes like React, Node, Python Essentials, and then Python AI and Cloud Computing. And which classes you take depends on your career track. After you finish the classes, we have a practicum. The practicum is an assignment where you will work with a small group of other developers at your same skill level, and either you will build and deploy your own app, or you will work with a data set to do some building too. Now, all throughout our program, we have opportunities for you to build your portfolio, but this is the big project that employers will want to learn about and be able to see that you are able to work in a small group to build something. So the practicum is 11 weeks as well too. And then you have career development built in where you'll practice with mock interviews, both the technical portion and, a regular interview. We'll help you with your resume, LinkedIn, and all to make sure that you are prepared to be a competitive candidate once you start applying for jobs. A bit more about the apprenticeship. It can last for up to 2 years. So the first 9 months, you do have to commit to working on your project with Code the Dream. But after that, we have very intensive career development built in to make sure that you all are able to get a job. We have partnerships with different companies. We just heard earlier that we made a partnership with Meta and got a connection there. Also, MetLife, Lenovo, and more. We also have tandem apprenticeships where some people have went off to work for companies like Lenovo under our apprenticeship and have been hired right after. So there are opportunities either after you leave practicum or even if you go into the apprenticeship too. One quick fact about 85% of our apprentices, their next job is making about $85,000 per year. All right. And then afterwards, you can start your career. So this is more information about the career pathways that I was discussing beforehand. So it depends on what you want to do with your career. If you are interested in building web applications or just regular apps, designing websites, learning about the back end workings of a website, this would be the pathway for you. Every class is 11 weeks, like I said. So either you'll start with the intro to programming, or if you're a bit more advanced, you'll start with React. Then you'll go into Node and then practicum and the apprenticeship. All right. So some career paths we've seen people go into after our web development path have been front-end developers, full stack software engineers, web application developers, UI UX designers, and more. All right. Then we have our new career pathway, which is data engineering with Python. So we created this pathway because we've seen a lot more job opportunities in Python. Also, we are incorporating more AI into this pathway too. So that's a bit exciting. If you are interested in anything data related, whether it's analytical work, engineering work, or more, this will be the pathway for you. You can start with intro again, or you can go into Python Essentials. We have Python AI and Cloud Computing. That's learning how to work with AI agents, also training models and more. It sounds pretty exciting. I should do it too, but I don't know. I ain't got the time, y'all. But that's something I would recommend you all try out if you are interested in data. And then we have the practicum. So currently we don't have the apprenticeship available for the data engineering path just because of the amount of jobs we've seen available with Python. So it's kind of the trade-off right now, but we are currently working to get that apprenticeship added, but just know you'll still be career ready and able to look for positions after this pathway. All right, so here is a bit more information about our class schedule. So currently we're recruiting for summer 2026. Those class dates are from July 1st to February. Why did I say February? July 1st to September 15th. All right. Yeah, so some people have questions as to if you can take more than one class in one term. You can only take one class per term. Um, Also, we do look for people who have commitment to working through challenging lessons. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is an asynchronous program. There are live mentor sessions, but not necessarily live instructional sessions. So, if you're watching those videos, you may want to pause, rewind, and all. But also, we look for initiative for if you aren't able to get a concept, reach out to one of our one on one mentors or join multiple group mentoring sessions, okay? Next, classes require about 20 hours per week on average. It can take more for others and less for some. Just depends on your working style. We've seen people have the most success when they have certain times throughout the week dedicated to working on Code the Dream stuff. So maybe like a Friday afternoon and then like a Tuesday afternoon that they may spend each week. All right. Also, the flexibility comes in if you are able to work ahead. You can definitely do that. And also, if you do fall behind, we can have a mentor help to catch you up too. All right. All right. Next, for class requirements. So for our intro to programming class, we do require that you know how to work your system. So know how to work your laptop, basic digital literacy. Otherwise, it is good to have some exposure to programming concepts beforehand, as it can help you just to start off on the right foot in classes. But even if you don't have it, we can help to catch you up. That's just to make it a little easier. Because our classes are intensive, okay? They are considered college level classes. So that's some preparation you can do beforehand. With advanced classes, we do require that you know some JavaScript beforehand, at least the fundamentals, and also know about GitHub and APIs. Next, for class tools, the only difference between what may be required for the intro class or the advanced class is that for intro, we don't recommend you buy a new system. So let's say you don't have a laptop, but you have a hybrid tablet like a Chromebook or anything. We can still work with that. You may have to do some workarounds, but our mentors can help you work with that, okay? With the advanced classes, you do need a computer system. If you don't have the current computer, once you're admitted to classes, we do work with a nonprofit in which they can get you a laptop for like $70, like highly discounted. So if that is you, you can do that. Or if you have a computer, 8 gigabytes is good enough to work with our classes. So here's some more information about the pre-work assignment. So the pre-work is required, and whichever assignment you do depends on what your current skill level is. If you need to know what to choose from, we would ask you if you know what an API is. If you do know what an API is, we suggest you try the advanced pre-work assignment. If not, like me, I know how to describe it, but I don't know what it is, I would do intro. All right. So the intro assignment, we have a Khan Academy tutorial. You'll go through unit 1 of a drawing and animation lesson. It's pretty fun. People have had fun creating their projects. You'll go through all of those videos, or at least the ones that apply to you, and then you will do the P5.js assignment, in which you will take what you learned from Khan Academy and apply it to include all the requirements that we give you for the assignment. After that, you submit it and we grade it to see if you met all the requirements. For the advanced assignment, you do have to create a static website, whether single or multi-page. Make sure you include some navigation. You can use templates, but make sure you do some manual styling so that we know that you are able to do that. And basically, the main goal is for us to see if you can pull data from an open source API that we give you and display it on the front end website accurately. And if you have any questions as you work throughout the pre-work assignment, I'm always happy to answer them at admissions@codethedream.org. No question is a dumb question. All right. And reminder too, if you have any questions, definitely put them in the chat. We'll answer them towards the end. Now, for class information, once you've been admitted to Code the Dream, because I'm sure all of you will be admitted, 2 weeks before we have orientation. Orientation will be about the week of June 14th. That'll be where you get all the information, the rundown of all of our classes so that you are prepared to start. And a week before classes start, we have office hours where you can ask any questions about setup or preparation so that you are fully ready to jump into classes once they start. All right. So, how many people get into our program? It does vary. It really just depends. Well, actually, our main recommendation is for you to submit an admissible pre work assignment. As long as you have all of the requirements that we ask of you, you have a good chance of getting into our program. We had a wait list before, but it really just depends on the term. So, that's mainly what we can tell you. You just have an admissible assignment. What do we look for in applicants, though? We look for those who are actually serious about joining the tech field. We have tons of resources all throughout our program, from the mentors to our instructional leads, and they make sure that you're on time with submitting things and making sure that you're going through the pathway and feeling good about it. Also, we have different group chats and all, and we have study groups that could be in Russian and Spanish, like different things we have. And all of these resources, they do cost us. So, yes, we look for people who are serious, basically. Now, what is the cost? Again, it is completely free. We do operate through grants since we are a nonprofit. If you did graduate and want to donate back time as a mentor, you definitely can. Or if you want to donate back monetary funds, you can too, but you don't have to. You can leave us and we never hear from you again. But we do want to hear from you again, okay? All right, so next steps. If you are interested, even if it's with learning more, you can go to codethedream.org. You can look at our course descriptions online. We do give you a week by week breakdown of what we teach in each class. Also, like the software we work with and everything. So feel free to go online and learn more if you do want to. But if you do want to apply to Code the Dream, go to codethedream.org/apply. For our summer classes, our application deadline is May 3rd, so you do have some time. Also, our pre-work deadline is May 17th, and then you will find out if you've been admitted into our program on May 26th. All right, here is the fun part. This is the part that may be more exciting than what I was talking about. So we have current Code the Dream students who were graduates from Npower, and we have them on the panel today. We have Eduardo. We have, sorry, I'm looking through the list. We have Ethan. We have Miles. Sorry if I'm missing anybody. If I am, unmute. But through that order, please just introduce yourself. State what class you've been in at Code the Dream, when you graduated from Npower, and yeah.
So thank you, Ashley. My name is Eduardo. I joined, I believe it was Npower first in the fall of 23. And then I joined Code the Dream. I was actually part of Jupiter and Kepler. I was holding down a full-time door-to-door sales job during that time. And so I had to defer for a little bit. And then I came back and I believe I finished in Kepler. But yeah, no, I've always been interested in software engineering. I knew it was something that I wanted to do post-graduation. I initially went to school for performing arts and communications. And it was one half semester communication course that really made me realized that I do enjoy working with programming languages, even if it technically HTML and CSS are not programming languages. Just understanding how data flows throughout applications was really interesting to me. And so now I work at RVOH or RVO Health as a platform engineer. So it's come a long way, but here I am. But yeah, not traditionally from a tech background, but happy to be here.
Thank you so much for that. I forgot who I called next. Okay, go ahead, Miles.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Eduardo, for that amazing introduction. So here I am now. Hello, everybody. My name is Miles. Um, just to make sure, I think I'm right. I think I was in the Jupiter class as well, Eduardo. I'm pretty sure as well. I know we was in the same class together. I know that for
You
sure.
were, yeah, I think
Um,
you finished.
and we graduated in the spring, I'm pretty sure in 2023. Um, of Npower. So there was a lot of, struggles with me, balancing part-time slash full-time job with along with, going to school. I was a Durham Tech graduate, getting my associate's degree in software development, which really brought me to Code the Dream. It was just a great experience of me learning more about, coding. And since I had that experience already, I was like, yeah, why not? Like, I was in the Introduction to Programming course, and that course alone just really opened my eyes more to understanding, like, it's more than just taking a lot of just materials and putting them into just one course. You have a lot. You know what I mean? Like, you have a lot of resources that you have when it comes to mentors and classmates, and that are willing to help you out throughout the course. So Code the Dream alone is really a great experience. um, right now, my current job, I am a computer audit technician at Planet ROI. And I am also on the North Carolina Regional Advisory Board for Npower as well. So,
Is it my turn now? I don't know what order we were going in. All right. I'm Ethan. I went to Npower's 2024 spring cohort, and I graduated from that. And I just went right into Code the Dream after that was finished. And I do have a background in CS in college, but I didn't really have any focus. So, it's just sort of learning the general concepts. But I wanted to keep learning more after I graduated, so I went into Code the Dream, into their advanced web development course. And I would say honestly, the time commitment is about like the same as or less than Mpower. Not to like say one is better than the other, but I was worried it would be it's actually very manageable. It all feels like you have a real sort of personal relationship with the organizers, and I'm still going through it, but I'm working toward their apprenticeship at the end of the web development course. Right now I'm in the Node course. I finished the React one back in fall.
Oh, nice. Okay, you got pretty far. Now, I know you guys did mention Jupiter and Kepler. What were the actual names? Was it Intro to Programming or was it React? What were those names?
Mine was intro. I think both of
Okay.
the courses were intro.
Okay, okay.
programming.
Okay, perfect. So, next question. What inspired you all to join Code the Dream? And we can go in the same order.
Yeah. Um, I think what it was I really enjoyed my time in Npower, and I got a lot of the baseline fundamentals of how computers work and why and how we use them. But it was really the problem solving and the ability to work with a programming language that I was interested in. So I knew that I wanted something that was still flexible with my work schedule, but also provided me with a community. That's the same reason I joined Npower. But the good thing was that, at least for Code the Dream, um, the videos were asynchronous, so I didn't have to be somewhere for a given amount of time, and that worked really well with my schedule. And yeah, and again, like I didn't fully finish one for the one class, the intro to programming, but I came back and I finished the second time around. So Code the Dream was also very gracious with their time as well. But yeah, that's what inspired me to join. Miles?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what inspired me most about joining Code the Dream was it was completely free. I love me some free stuff, and y'all know I take advantage of that all day, every day. So that was one main thing that really stood out to me. Um, and what really I really like about Code the Dream as well is you have a community that supports you. It's not just, you're trying to get through courses on a daily basis by yourself. You have the ability to reach out to somebody if the course gets pretty difficult. You have mentors, classmates, and you do need to have those type of options because sometimes those courseworks it can get very difficult, and I have my fair share when it comes to having those difficult times. And if you're not struggling, you're not learning. That's just how I see it. So that's what really inspired me most about, Code the Dream.
Uh, what inspired me to join Code the Dream was I just wanted to learn how to build websites, and Code the Dream was offering training in a formal setting, and they had resources and deadlines. And I don't know if I'm representing any people here with ADHD, but for someone like me who has trouble just staying on the ball sometimes, it's really just really helpful to have someone be like, "Hey, this is what you need to get done, and here's how to do it. Here's all the resources you'll need to do it." Like back when I was learning coding like in an actual college setting, it felt a sort of nebulous. It was just more like principles, like, oh, here's how this coding language works. Here's look at this. You can make a thing move in a terminal. Like, okay, cool. But what about the stuff that people are actually going to use? And then there's like, hey, here's web apps. Here's what people are actually using, and you can just jump right into it. And it feels like you're actually working towards something rather than just working toward getting a piece of paper that says you did something.
Thank you all so much for answering that and talking about your own experiences too. Okay, so I think y'all pretty much answered my next question. So the question after that, how do you all manage to balance your how do you all manage to balance your personal responsibilities with coursework?
Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit of sacrifice. um, because you really have to say, okay, I can't go out this weekend, or I gotta make time to fit this in. And I'm sympathetic to, I have ADHD too, so sometimes time management is really tough. But I think what kept me going in those moments where I was like, I don't know if I can keep going, is just realizing, taking a step back and being like, I mean, I like it. I enjoy it. You kind of have to love it, or you kind of have to be a little kooky to push yourself to get those assignments done. But you do. And at the end of the day, there's always an end, to what you're doing. Sometimes life comes in seasons, and that might be a season of learning, and then a season of reaping the fruits of your labor. And so I knew I was in the growing phase when that was happening. But yeah, Miles.
Um, with me balancing just everything that I was doing, like I'm not the best person when it comes to managing both life and school and everything, but I still managed it. So the best way that I managed it was, like, I'm picking back off of what Edward said. It was a lot of sacrifice. I sacrificed a lot of my sleep to get my coursework done, and that's a very tough decision to make. But sometimes you got to get the coursework done whenever it needs to. There's many times where um those late night studying, making sure that the material and everything is, you're grasping it correctly, and making sure that you're understanding it in your mindset. So, like, yeah, it's all about just discipline as well. Like, if you feel like you can't really do the work correctly, it's always best to always step away from the laptop. That's all I was always told, because you know if you feel overwhelmed, you feel stressed out, it's always okay just to walk away. Just walk away from the laptop. And then when you feel you know good about yourself and you're ready to jump back in, you can always open the laptop back again. So always just have those resting moments. So Ethan.
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on what you already know going in, because like some people are going to go into the advanced course because they have some previous like coding experience, and others will start in the intro course. So I'm definitely speaking from like the first perspective of someone who went straight into the advanced course. I never found the coursework more demanding than like Npower was, and something that's good about the coursework is that every single lesson builds directly off of the previous lesson. It's not like remembering, it's not it's not like a memory game. You don't feel like, okay, here's the next new thing that we have to add in on. Everything works together, and you'll just get better at doing the coursework as it goes on. And I think as long as you take the time to just, maybe just take some notes, especially on things that you aren't too familiar with, and just keeping those handy. Uh, I think it's something that you can streamline. I don't know. It sounds like maybe I had an easier time than some other people, but I don't. I think that if you can handle Npower, if you can get through Npower, you will absolutely be able to handle Code the Dream, as long as you're in a situation where you can sustain that time requirement.
Thank you, thank you. And this will be the last question before we open it up for everyone else. What advice would you give to someone interested in joining Code the Dream after completing their Empower classes? And we can do the same order.
Um, the best advice I could give someone is that it's never useless to learn something. So I started Npower and I got my CompTIA A plus certification. And I got the fundamentals of how computers work, why they work. And that translated across everything I was doing. Um, because then you start getting into APIs and how to run your terminal and how to make PRs on GitHub and how to work collaboratively. And that will pop up again. So it behooves you to take your work seriously and to not think that something is not worth learning. Because sometimes I remember being like, oh man, do I really have to go over SQL again? I can't believe I have to do this again. And then now, as a platform engineer, I'm using SQL every single day, and it haunts me. But yeah, no, I never think that something is not valuable to learn, and embrace not knowing things as well. Because there are times when even people like senior devs on my team, they are like, I don't know what that is. We're all a little lost, but we're gonna get unlost together, or untangled together, which is helpful. Um, yeah. Miles, do you have anything?
Be ready to commit. That is definitely one of the biggest things that, like, when you see an opportunity and you're not really 100% sure whether or not you're wanting to like put full commitments into something that is going to make your life changing, I would say just jump in it anyway, because you wouldn't know how it would affect you if you wouldn't to take that chance. It's kind of just more, I'm more so just saying like take risks. Take risks while you still while the more you can or the more you will, the more you never know how it will impact your life. More advice I would say, um, be ready to learn. Be ready to just learn how to learn. That's like one of the first main courses in Code the Dream that still stuck with me to this day, because your brain is, always learning every day, but you gotta like, adjust it. You gotta change the way that you're learning, because you probably changed the way that you learn when you was in high school, and now like when you get into the real world, it's a completely different ball game. So like things change every day, and because Code the Dream and Empower are such fast paced um programs, you gotta like, it's not always to say like you can't take your time, but you gotta learn how to like fully grasp it fast and quick. So I would definitely say that, and also talk to your resources. Empower has a social support manager, and Code the Dream also has mentors and classmates, like I mentioned before. So always be willing to talk about what you're struggling with most, and they will be there to help you out whenever times get rough, and they will give you the best advice that you may take or you may not take, but it really just depends on up to you. So that's that's my biggest part. Say, just commit. Ethan, what do you have to say, man?
I want to second that there is no bad learning. That if this is a topic you're genuinely interested in, like if you want to learn how to program, how to make real world applications using software, if that's something that's interesting, there isn't a bad learning, like there isn't this isn't a bad subject to learn about. And if you want to learn that, you absolutely should. Uh, for me, it was just like I don't want to sound too much like an old Nike ad, but like just do it. Uh, because and I would say just try not to like doubt yourself, because if you think you can do this, and if you did get through Npower, then you certainly can do this. And if this is something that you want to do, it's absolutely worth the experience if you can afford it. And for me, Npower felt more like a race. This feels more like a marathon, in that it's a, and again, it sounds like maybe my experience is different from other people. I think it certainly depends on how much time you're prepared to put into it. But it feels like it's just I'd say that it's a good flow of work to get through, and that if you can just keep going through it and you can sustain that pace, then you're good. And worst case scenario, you come out of this with a lot more knowledge than you went in with.
Perfect. Thank you all so much for talking about your experience and your advice. Now we will open up the floor to anybody. If you have any questions, you can put them in chat, or you can raise your hand and we'll call on you to unmute. You can ask me a question, or if any of the panelists want to stay on to answer questions, you can ask them too. Damien, you can go ahead and unmute.
Hey guys, I graduated from the Npower program about a year ago. Yeah, actually a year ago now. Um, as far as what you've learned getting the CompTIA certifications, about how much of that would you say is translatable or transferable to the program itself?
Are you talking about the Code the Dream program?
Hmm. As far as like how you learned in Empower, like for me, it wasn't just note taking. I did a lot of interactive stuff on my own on the side because I'm a learner who learns by doing. I can read all I want, I can listen all I want, but it won't stick until I do it. Um, is
Yeah.
is there a lot of opportunities to do that in this program?
Yes, it depends on, I guess, I don't know exactly which program you're thinking about going into, but as far
The
as
Python development.
Python, okay. I did intro programming, but when it comes to code, like, yeah, your code's gonna break, and you're gonna have to figure out how it broke and or why it broke. And so I think, especially Empower, as you're doing your CompTIA A plus, that's all they're teaching you is, okay, what are the basics? How do you troubleshoot? You start off with the simplest solution first before you go into doing anything that might be destructive. You can apply those same things to web development and coding. As far as Python, yeah, you can run all types of Python scripts. There are different libraries that come along with Python, so I don't think you're ever going to find something that you won't be able to do hands-on. And I think that working on hands-on projects is probably the best way to learn, especially when it comes to web development. But yeah, that's my answer. I don't know if anybody else has any more insight.
Yeah, this is an open question. Any of you guys can answer. Different perspectives will work.
Yeah, I can actually speak to that. So yeah, the learning style is very kinesthetic. It's going to be constantly hands-on. You're going to be constantly applying what you learn. It's not like, oh, learn this for a couple months and then do one big project. No, you are going to constantly be like going through code and reinforcing what you learned from the last week. And like it'll all be on your computer as well, so you can always refer back to it. So yeah, it if you're worried about it being like not hands-on enough, that then do not worry.
Okay, awesome. I kind of struggled with Empower because a lot of it is just memorizing.
Right.
And that's not a bad thing. It's good to have all that in the knowledge bank. But I do understand that programming and web development is a lot more involved as far as you are physically more capable of manipulating things, and things will break easier, you know.
Mhm. Right.
So all right, cool. I'm glad that I asked that question because that assuages a lot of worries that I had.
Yeah, you're not in Power. You're like you're learning to do two different things. In Empower, you do have to remember a lot of these things. It is ultimately you are learning to pass a test as well as apply these things. But for Code the Dream, it is you're learning how to build something yourself. So I'd say that's the big difference it comes down to.
Awesome.
Yeah, go ahead, Miles.
So, my best advice I would say about like the Python course, I didn't take it through Code the Dream, but I did take it whenever I was in like my community college, in one of my community college courses. So Python, of course, that was one of my courses in school. And my teacher, whenever I struggled with learning how to code, my teacher always told me like you're not trying to memorize the code. You're basically understanding how it's functioning. Like that's where I'm actually taking data structures and algorithms course now, which it kind of more so aligns with Python. So I highly recommend like maybe diving deeper into like data structures and algorithms. That way you can understand deeply more into Python. Because it kind of similar, it's kind of aligns and more similar, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
that's just
Okay.
what.
I will look into that. Awesome. Thank you. That was my question. I'll open the floor up.
Yes. Are there any other questions? You can go ahead and raise your hand. I'll also put the application link in the chat again, as well as my email address if you all have any questions after the session. All right. But last chance. All right. Well, thank you all so much for your time and joining this session again. Thank you to our panelists. Special shout out to them. Also, Catherine, thank you for joining today. And we hope to see some of you one day in our program. All right. Take care. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.